G'day guys, and welcome back to another episode. So we are at Mataranka station. We're right now headed towards the thermal pools. So this was originally like pastoral land, cattle and sheep and all that sort of stuff. And then during the Second World War, Mataranka, they had a military hospital and ammunition depot and all that. And the thermal pools that we're headed to now were visited by heaps of soldiers. And one of the soldiers, Victor Smith his name was, he saw the potential as a tourist destination of this area. After the war, he came back here 1946, and by 1949 basically the resort opened with just cabins and a bar and a restaurant and all that, and now it's one of the most popular destinations in the Northern Territory, and we're just about to go and find out why. So hope you guys enjoy the episode. Let's get into it. Oh, well, if you don't mind.
Oh, I know. Wow. It's so refreshing, right?
It's quite deep.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Not bad, eh?
Not bad.
Beautiful. We'll come back in the morning and hopefully it won't be so busy.
Oh, there's so many people here. Not used to having so many people around, eh? Oh, yeah, it's a lot more, so I didn't really know much about the places. It looks a lot more constructed than I was expecting. There's a lot of stairs and rails and whatnot.
Yeah.
A lot of surrounds along the outside, but I'm trying to find out where the actual upwelling is. I don't know if it's underneath us somewhere. I'll have to get some goggles on and go for a little bit of a paddle underneath. There's obviously some sort of natural upwelling somewhere.
That's cool, just lying and looking up.
Well, there it is. The head of the spring, the main source of water we were just swimming in.
Yep.
Comes just straight out of the ground there.
I'm surprised. How's
It's amazing.
Through?
It just flows down through the natural gradient of the land.
Oh, that's just overhead blocking.
and that area there where we were swimming has been constructed to sort of create a nice little swimming area for everyone.
I want to get down there.
That's really cool.
I want to get down there.
I'd love to swim in there, but you can't.
Maybe.
Water flows underground from surrounding higher country down towards Mataranka and the Robbo River. Water that fell perhaps thousands of years ago and hundreds of kilometres away has collected in cracks and caves in the limestone here.
Yeah.
Each summer the wet season rains top up these huge underground tanks. Where the land's surface has been worn away and cuts the underground water level, water flows out of the ground as springs. Wow. What a cool looking little pub. Oh, guess that's where the dunnies are. Well done, Miranda. I knew nothing about this place. You picked well.
You see it all over Instagram, so it wasn't my doing.
Wasn't your doing? No, well. Cheers.
Pretty good. Cheers. Cheers.
Device time, eh, kids? Hey, you guys are matching, same tops.
Oh, yeah. And same switches as well.
Yeah. They did their schoolwork, so we're rewarding them with a bit of device time. Now that's what I call a fire pit. That is one hell of a fire pit, eh, Camo?
Yeah.
Thing's huge. A couple of broken down cartons of like beer cartons, some palm fronds, big logs, a bit of dunny roll, and a match. That was it. Love's in the air. Love's in the air.
This is Tommy.
Good morning everyone. We're just taking a little walk down the back of our campsite. This is the Robbo River that runs through the national park. And apparently these are croc infested waters. I don't see any.
Okay, gold. Gold. No. Gold.
Actually feels like you're out in the jungle, doesn't it? It's pretty cool. No crocs. By fishing, he hasn't got any fish. There's a big croc trap over there and that hasn't been sprung yet, so we'll see one day. Still haven't seen one yet. Alright, well we couldn't pass up the allure of the hot spring again this morning. So we're going to go there, have a little bit of a paddle about, and there's a 1.2k walk to a place called Stevie's Hole. It's right down there on the Robbo River where we were this morning, but further along, closer to the hot spring. Going to go check that out, and then we're going to shoot into town. There's a few little bits and pieces that we can do in there. Got to fuel the car up and get a few supplies and whatnot. Ran out of coffee this morning. Oh, can't believe me. Yes, ran out of coffee grounds this morning. All that's left is instant, and there's hardly any of that left as well, so definitely need to stock up on some coffee.
Look, there's loads of that in there.
No, there's not enough in there. And what did you say we wanted to go? Oh, check out the original Elsie homestead.
Yep.
And
Bitter Springs.
Bitter Springs, that's right. We're going to go shoot off to Bitter Springs. We can go swim in that. And then tomorrow you wanted to go for a big drive to...
No, it's a hike.
Oh, that's right. Tomorrow we've got a big hike to Mataranka Falls. That's a 8 kilometre?
Yeah.
8 kilometre, 4-hour round trip. So I don't know how we're going to let the kids know about that one. We might just tell them when we're halfway there. What do you reckon? Or maybe we'll give them the promise of, what do you reckon? Maybe no schoolwork for a day and icy poles and marshmallows. Maybe a Coke at the pub or something. Anyway, you guys ready? Thermal Springs? Let's go. So we decided to trek down to Stevie's Hole first and then reward ourselves with a swim in the pools on the way back, because this one's a little bit out of the way. You can just hear I don't know, you could probably hear the water running, the river running through here. No swimming here though, Camo. Yep. So you can tell that we're just out of the wet season, because there's a whole bunch of debris, like all these palm fronds. I don't know if you can see how high they are up on these trees. That's basically where the high tide mark was. So this entire area where I'm walking now is all underwater. The other thing that's really surprising as well, obviously this is a permanent river, and that's full of palm trees and paper barks. And then this side, the trees are totally different. It's all your more sort of dry, scrubby type trees. It's a shame you can't go swimming here because it looks really nice.
Yeah.
I mean, have a look at that.
It's like a bridge.
It does. It looks like a bridge. It's the trunk of a palm tree wedged halfway up in between two trees.
I said it looks
That's astonishing.
I said it looks like a big tightrope.
Yeah.
And I also
Alright.
said I want to walk.
Any snappies?
No.
I don't see any.
Neither do I, but I want to go now.
Alright, well I'm glad we popped down here. There's a fair bit of flood damage on the pathway and a lot of debris we had to clamber over to get here, being the end of the wet season, because they've only just opened, I don't know, the last few weeks or something like that. So anyway, that was a nice little walk. We worked up a sweat.
Yeah.
Now it's time to go and have a swim.
Yeah.
What do you reckon, guys?
Yeah.
Yep. You looking forward to the swim?
Yeah, it'll be nice and refreshing, I think.
How's your butt?
Be quiet.
What happened?
Don't.
What happened?
Don't.
What happened? Miranda's got a sore
Cameron,
butt.
Cameron walked into
What
one
happened?
of these and scared Mummy, and she
What, a
pulled
palm
him.
frond jumped up.
It could have been a snake.
Did you trip over it?
No, I went to run real quick and I pulled the muscles in my butt.
Do you need me to massage it for you?
No, I don't. Thank you.
So you thought one of the palm fronds was a snake?
How?
Interesting. Did you do that on purpose?
No.
You gonna be okay?
Yes, I'll be fine.
Do you want me to carry you?
No, I'll be fine. Cool.
Let's go.
I know it's nothing new, but it's so good to see you. We do this every day, and I'm still so amazed by you. So hold me tight through the night. It's just us two, me and you.
Alrighty, well, morning swim complete. That was a real treat, hey? That place is fantastic. It's like a little Garden of Eden, hey? It's beautiful. We're just heading to the Elsie homestead. I'm pretty sure that's the original homestead for the pastoral lease, which is why this place is here. So go in, see what that's all about before then tucking into town. I don't know what town really has to offer. Hopefully they've got ground coffee. If not, man, it's gonna have to be instant coffee for me for a couple of days. Kill me now. And then Bitter Springs. What's the deal with Bitter Springs? Is that a bit of a drive and a walk? Not too sure. Well, you'll find out when we do. Here we go. Just pulled up to the site, the original Elsie homestead, and man, I don't really know what to say. What do you reckon, Miranda? It's a little bit of a fixer-upper.
There'd be more of it left than this, but...
Yep, I've got a plaque and a few bits of stone stacked on top of each other. Anyway, obviously this is the original location. I'm going to read the plaques and see what the deal is. There's a few little tracks. I don't know if there's much more to have a look at, but if there is, I'll let you know. I'm a slower reader than Miranda, but she's just said that a replica of the homestead's actually where we're staying. So we're going to have a look at that in a sec.
How are you? Cameron, I'm wearing two different songs.
Dead centre of town, this. People are dying to get in here. So Jeannie Gunn who was the wife of one of the pastoral owners who stayed at that Elsie station. She wrote a book which was then turned into a movie called We of the Never Never. And this cemetery houses some of the people who are characterised in that book and subsequent movie. So she basically created a novel and injected some local characters into that story. I don't, to be honest, know much about the story, but her and her husband arrived early in the 1900s, I think, and only a few years later he died from I did read it was either, I think it was dysentery or malaria dysentery, something like that, and she left but then wrote these books about her time here. And yeah, there's some of these plaques just, referring to people buried here as characters in her stories. It's really interesting. This is a big one here. Who's this one? This is Jeannie, is it? In loving memory of the little Mrs. Jeannie Gunn. Oh, they're both buried here. On top of each other? It's a pretty small site. Would you like me on top of you or you on top of me? That's how they've buried them. Unless people were really small back then. Okay, just to clarify, they're not actually buried here. It's more of a memorial, right? I don't know where her husband, Aeneas, got to be careful how you say that one. Don't know where he was buried, but Jeannie was buried back in Melbourne. And yeah, he died of malarial dysentery, which was common in the time apparently. And yeah, he was a quarter shareholder in the station, and he managed it. And they got here in 1902. He owned a quarter share, as I just said, and he died in 1903. And that's when Jeannie left and wrote her book. Would you look at the colour of that water?
We swimming in that.
I'm not too sure.
Do you want to go for a swim in that? Yes.
It looks really nice actually. So we're just down at Bitter Springs at the moment. Bit of a walk trail, information plaques, all that sort of stuff, and there's a couple of swimming holes and lookouts. Obviously we're on a lookout at the moment, but I have a feeling that people are swimming just around that corner there. So this is like swimming water.
Oh yes!
Yeah, there are. Yeah.
Yes.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Okay, so there's actually a current, so you get in here, let the current take you around to an exit ladder, climb out, come back, and you can do it again. This looks like fun.
Yeah.
Come on, let's get in.
Will I ever get clean? No, I took a break down there. Do you look up on your London? Ever get clean? I should have run
Okay, well the steps are there and we'll get out and walk out. It's okay.
There's a slimy underwater log back there. There's another one right here. So I think Jacqueline will vote Mataranka Springs #1, and this one maybe #2. This one's actually got a bit of a funny smell to it, eh?
Yeah.
She found the other log. How's the serenity? That was peaceful.
Can we go again?
We can continue. Oh, that was interesting.
I want to spot a crocodile, but I don't want to spot it in the water.
Oh, I don't want to spot a crocodile here. No, thank you. I think I prefer the other one, to be honest. This one's nice because if you've got a floaty ring or a couple of pool noodles, especially if you're an adult, you can just sit back and let the current take you. If you don't freak out about the submerged logs. It does have a little bit of a, every now and then you get like a little bit of a swampy smell. But if you can get past that, I mean,
It's pretty not specky underwater.
what's not to love, right? Honestly, what's not to love?
Underwater's sick. is pretty cool.
It's awesome, eh?
The girls are gonna freak when they saw what they missed out on. Oh, there's the place where
There's
you
the
get out.
exit, is it? Oh, yep.
Then can we go for another lap?
Yeah, I'll go again. Righto, so we said earlier we're going to go and check out this replica of the original LC homestead, which is, what, 200-metre walk from where we're camped. We've just been sitting around the campsite all day. We haven't come over here yet. It was pretty busy before. It's been real influx of travellers and stuff today. It's got super busy.
Yeah.
Because we were all by ourselves in the entire unpowered camp section, and now there's half a dozen other people already rolled in. And there's this massive big bus there. It's huge old rig. Miranda goes, when we retire, I want to travel the country in one of them. You can drive and I'll just sleep all day. Watching Days of Our Lives.
No, Bold and the Beautiful.
Bold and the Beautiful.
Get it right.
God.
So I think they used this in the movie.
What's that?
They used this in the movie.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I believe so. I
We
think I read that somewhere.
of the Never.
We're gonna have to watch the movie now, I think.
Yeah. So you just heard Miranda say she thinks she read it somewhere. Right, that's that's the way we roll. We read the plaques as we go. We discover the places as we arrive at them. We know a few little bits and pieces before we get to them, but the finer details we read when we're on site. And we don't always get it 100% right. Sorry. Hey, I was just saying, you had mentioned just before they used this set in the movie.
I think.
Because you read that, I was just saying, we don't intensely research as the place we come to. We discover them as we get to them, and we read the plaques and talk about that, and we don't always get it right, but
Sorry.
you don't come here for accurate information. We're discovering the places as you guys are watching it. So, apologies if we don't get the finer details spot on. Wow. Foiled. Our plans have been foiled and the kids couldn't be happier. Look at him, he's trying not to smile. Cheeky little what's it. Oh, I'm really disappointed about that. So, obviously we're going to have to abide by the sign. I don't know what we're going to do now. We'll come up with another plan of attack. Well, this looks like the perfect way to waste a little bit of time. Because have a look at that, would you? Apparently there is barramundi and all sorts of different fish in there. And to be honest, I don't care if I don't catch anything. I just want to flick a line in and have a bit of fun. You ready, Camo?
Yep.
So this is where we were yesterday. It's the Roamin River. It's literally 200 metres from our campsite. This is where we saw the fella fishing yesterday. He didn't catch anything either, but just trying to find a good spot to stand and cast without catching a snag as we do so and not getting too close to the water. Just the last couple of casts, not even a bite. Wasn't expecting to get anything,
No.
but as I said before, it's a
Very noisy thing.
it's a good way to waste half an hour, right? Yeah. The reason why I got us set up behind this boat here, just in case there are any crocs who don't like us being in their territory, being overcautious and over paranoid. But I don't know if you can see on the other side of the river there. That's a croc trap. So they're definitely in the area, but they've got that there obviously because they don't want them in the area where the where the guests are. I don't know what this boat's doing here. It's obviously owned by the Mataranka Station homestead. Maybe it's like a rescue boat or something like that. because there's an access track and gate there to bring a vehicle down. Oh. You ready to go to the thermal pool? Knew that'd get him in. So apparently in the Northern Territory it was a long weekend this weekend. That's why it was so busy here yesterday. But even so, as I've just shown you, we've got our little campsite jammed right up in the corner of the unpowered site section. So we pretty much commandeered the entire back corner, because when we first turned up there was no one here. We're the only ones. So we thought, oh, we'll just get this nice little secluded section, and we basically put the back of our camper to where everybody else goes, and then just took over this whole back corner. We're sort of taken up 2 sites, maybe just a little bit, but there's heaps of room and it hasn't been full, so we aren't taking up somebody else's spot. Basically, when we booked in, the lady said, you know, just find a spot and pitch up. So that's what we did. So even though we are sort of taking up 2 sites, but not really, because the second site is just here in front of where we've got the car parked, but no one's going to really go there. If you have a look around, you can see now everyone's cleared out today. It's quite empty now. There's a couple more groups. Yeah, but anyway, this is our last day here, our last night. We pack up and we're hitting Kakadu tomorrow. I can't wait. So stoked to get into Kakadu. We're there for 6 nights in total. It was meant to be 11. A bunch of it's closed because of the big wet season that they had. Yeah, anyway, we've had an absolute blast here at Mataranka. There's a couple of options where to stay and what to do when you're here. There's the Bitter Springs campsite or campground. There's Mataranka Homestead, which is where we are, or Mataranka Station. There's powered sites, unpowered sites, tent sites. They've got cabins as well. The facilities, not the cleanest, but that's not why you come to a place like this. You come to a place like this for the river and the thermal pools. And happy hour, 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock. Nice rustic country pub up there. Apparently the food's awesome. We haven't had any of it. We've just been eating back at the campsite here. But yeah, we've had a blast.